Hi guys, going to be showing you how I built these $7 a piece 5-degree box blind platform brackets that I'm using on a 6-foot platform that we're going to be doing a box blind on. This is a lightweight, easy, cheap solution for nothing that's going to be too terribly high, but this is built on a 4x5 frame. So this is just pressure treated wood. I'm not going to show you how I built this. This is it's pretty simple. It's just 2x6s and 2x4s. This is the bracket, so you can find that where you'll find all the strong ties or tie downs in your home center. These are some wedges and just a 5-degree block for some template and marking. There I'm using that's just a scrap piece of 4x4 that I'll be using for a mark. You can see the mark that's there on that band joist, and then that's the 5 degrees that I'm going to be marking on this joist, this outer joist, so I can use it as a cut line. And it's 5 degrees. You can see that little triangle that's going to be cut off, and so I'll be there's a better view of it. I'll be setting my circular saw at 5-degree pitch, which you can see right there. There's the 5-degree pitch, and cutting it so that the leg will splay or lean out from the platform. And it's really not that critical to get on that inside joist, just on the outside, so you can kind of see that I didn't really cut down from the top, but just straight across. This will be the wedges, and what I've just done is I've marked the distance of how tall that bracket is, where it's going to be sitting on that joist. And I'm just cutting it as a marker, really, so that I can cut these 5-degree pitches. And this miter saw has been set at a 5-degree angle. This is not a conventional way to cut something, so if you feel unsafe doing it this way, then you can do this with a couple of cuts with a circular saw from either side. This just gives me a nice clean cut and a good clean wedge. And so you can see how they get cut here. And I do set it at 0 degrees after 5 degrees of cutting the first one, so I can cut the second one out. And so here you go. There's where you can see the wedge there. So that's the 5-degree wedge, just cut out of a piece of scrap old 4x4. Okay, now here's where I'm actually cutting it straight to get the second one out. So I'm cutting it straight now and cutting the second wedge. So I'm getting really 2 wedges out of each side. And so you can see there's the wedge, and I'm setting it up along that edge that I cut earlier, that 5-degree edge where I'd marked it with the template. And so now you can kind of see the setup. There's that temporary block or just a scrap piece of 4x4, so I can use to set it in place and mark where those holes are going to be. So the wedge is in there that kicks it out 5 degrees, and it's also being installed at a 5-degree angle because of that one that I cut earlier. So I'm using 1/2-inch hardware, and so these holes are being cut that I'm cutting out with a spade bit are 5/8. And the reason why I use a spade is because if you use something that's pointed, that's just such thin material that it's going to split. So here I would recommend putting the glue on after this. So I would lay this in and then mark my holes and then drill it. And I'm only saying that because after I did this, of course those shavings kind of got everywhere, and I just had to clean it out and then re-glue it. So I'd pull it off and then drill it. But that also helped me keep it at a 5-degree angle. But now you can see that hardware is going in, and with the 5/8 hole, it lets me move things around just because I know I'm going to be moving it out and trying to assemble it in the field. So that's the all galvanized hardware, and because it's at that 5-degree pitch, I can't get a washer on the backside, and then later on I actually cut the edge off of one so I could get at least some kind of support on that backside. But here's a good view of the 5-degree pitch going away from the outside, and how it's attached to that outside rim joist. And that's ultimately where everything rests on, is that outside joist. And here is the top of the 4x4s that will be going on the bottom of the platform. So I'm just pre-drilling those, and those will just be straight through because they're perpendicular to the bracket. And So this is just real time me pulling this thing out of the trailer. I wanted to show just if it's a lightweight platform that's not going to be very high, and this is going to be about 6 foot tall to the bottom of the platform, so it puts our shooting window at about 10 foot off the ground. So I just set it up. It's just because it's lightweight, you know, I can prop it up with another 4x4 so that it stands there. And what I'm showing you, you see that L that's on there, that means long. So that was going to go on my long side. And the reason why I'd marked those, there's also an S on another one on the other corner, that I cut the bottoms at double 5 degrees so that they would sit flat. Not that this thing's going to sit on a flat surface, but and I also marked, you'll see IC on the inside corner here in a second, but I'm just, it's a tight fit, so I'm just, you know, hammering things in, and really the only tools that you need when you're out there is a hammer and a set of wrenches to be able to tighten those bolts. But there you can see there's that IC for inside corner, so I know that that's the highest portion of the angle that I cut on the bottom of the foot. But starting to see how they go together. But in some cases they are pretty tight when they're in there, so the hammer is good to be able to bang those posts in place. So now you can kind of see how that 5 degrees is going to sit in there, and with the hardware tightened up. So now I'm ready to kind of stand it up. So because it's light, just moving it around, doing this by yourself at a 6 foot height is really easy. This is sped up a little bit, so I just didn't want to bore you to absolute death. But you can see that it's already supporting itself, and you can see that on the feet on the right, or legs on the right, that it is kicked out at 5 degrees on both going backwards and to the side, or frontwards to the side. So once the bolts are in, I cut these off camera, but these are just some 1x4s that I had measured so that I could space the legs out evenly, and also add a little support. Ultimately, I think I'm going to add some diagonal bracing. That's probably just going to be 1x4s also, but these will go on. These go on all 4 sides, and they just add some lateral strength to these legs, so that they're not. Since this kind of is going to be somewhat of a mobile blind, and you'll see how mobile it is and how light it is here in just a second, because I'll end up picking up and moving it around. So yeah, and so here's how light this thing is. It's not a big deal. Easy to move and move around, and once you get it in place, and of course you'd want to tighten all the bolts up, and of course a flat platform and some other bracing is going to make it a lot stronger. But this is just a good cheap way to make an angled brace for a box blind deer platform. So thanks for watching. I might build the blind on camera, but be sure to check out the Camo Matrix also, where you can compare, I don't know how many different, I think 85 or 87 camo hunting patterns. So thanks for watching.